I celebrate myself, and what I assume, you shall assume. For every atom belonging to me, as good belongs to you. I loaf and invite my soul. I lean and loaf at my ease, observing a spear of summer grass. Stop this day and night with me, and you shall possess the origin of all poems.
America's first great poet was born the last day of May in 1819 to a farming family in Huntington, Long Island. Generations of Whitmans had lived on Long Island since first settling there in 1664. Walt Whitman was born in this two-story house that his father built just 9 years before. He was the second of 8 children. His father, Walt Whitman Sr., was a sullen man who drank heavily and was given to spells of depression. He was known to say,
"Keep a good heart, the worst is to come."
He often read political books and journals that some would call radical. Walt was closer to his mother, Louisa Whitman. She was big-boned, vigorous, and an imaginative storyteller. She later recalled of her son,
"He was a very good but very strange boy."
Walt's parents were very patriotic, and they instilled in their children a reverence for democracy. They named 3 of their 6 sons after heroes of the new country: George Washington Whitman, Thomas Jefferson Whitman, and Andrew Jackson Whitman. Walt later wrote,
The time of my boyhood was a very restless and unhappy one. I did not know what to do.
but he always possessed an intimate connection with nature. This became the subject of a poem, There Was a Child Went Forth.
There was a child went forth every day, and the first object he looked upon and received with wonder or pity or love or dread, that object he became. And that object became part of him for the day or a certain part of the day, or for many years or stretching cycles of years. The early lilacs became part of this child, and grass and white and red morning glories and white and red clover and the song of the phoebe bird and the field sprouts of April and May became part of him, wintergreen sprouts, and those of the light yellow corn and of the esculent roots of the garden, and the apple trees covered with blossoms, and the fruit afterward, and woodberries, and the commonest weeds by the road. These became part of that child who went forth every day, and who now goes and will always go forth every day. And these become part of him or her that peruses them here.
There Was a Child Went Forth is less experimental, of course, than Song of Myself, but some of the direct commentary on the mother and the father in particular, and the lines about the upbringing and the coming into understanding about identity and difference between, oneself and the objects one sees in the world. All of that seems to be grounded in Whitman's own biographical circumstances.
So it's how the self absorbs everything around, and other people are absorbing it, and that's what he meant by this absorption. He and Dickinson were the first poets to write about consciousness, following Emerson's. So that's how I see it.
When Walt was nearly 4 years old, his father moved the family to a bustling market town of 15,000 people called Brooklyn. It was booming with construction everywhere. Even so, Walt's father, a farmer and carpenter, had a difficult time making ends meet. Walt spent much of his childhood moving. On average, the Whitmans changed homes every year. One of his happiest memories was on July 4th, 1826, as the nation celebrated its 50th anniversary of independence. France's Marquis de Lafayette came to Brooklyn. One of the great heroes of the Revolutionary War, who fought side by side with George Washington, Whitman fondly recalled Lafayette's visit to Brooklyn as he rode up Fulton Street to the new library, where he laid a cornerstone.
The childish pride I experienced in being one of those who were taken in the arms of Lafayette and reached down by him to a standing place. As a little boy, I have been pressed tightly and lovingly to the breast of Lafayette,